Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's Claudia from Rochills, and thanks so much for joining me today. Today is our 10th live of our Christmas Top 12 Tips for Selling Your Home. So today what I'll be talking about is why you need to shop around to ensure that you have instructed the best solicitor for you and the sale or purchase of your next home. But before I get into it, I just want to remind you all that if you know anyone who is currently amidst making this decision, or maybe shortly, or someone who's thinking of selling in the future, you can just comment with their names and invite them to the session right now. Hopefully they'll get the notification to join us whilst they sitting in front of the telly or on their commute home. And again, just to welcome any questions throughout today's session as well, just drop them in the comments section below, and I'll answer them at the end of today's live for everyone's benefit. Super. So, instructing solicitors are one of the most important decisions you're making when you're about to buy or sell a property, and they essentially have probably the biggest impact on the process going forward, and this is for a number of reasons. The other thing I think it's worth mentioning is approximately 30% of transactions fail to go through to completion for one reason or another. But essentially the reason I'm showing that figure is that it shows why it's vital to select the right solicitor for the process. So the things to remember are that you do get what you pay for. I know some of us gasp when we look at the quotes that we get from solicitors or conveyancers, but paying that little bit more for a really good solicitor will pay off, and it pays off just with less stress, less hassle, better communication throughout your transaction. So yeah, select a solicitor who is proactive with their clients, one who will respond to the buyer or seller's legal team promptly. Often we get buyers say that they lose trust in the seller's commitment to the sale because they or their solicitors aren't getting replies in good time. And then choosing the wrong solicitor just based on cost can ultimately cost you more time from the sale being agreed to completion, and in some cases they have cost the sale altogether. The other thing to remember is to definitely, where you can, choose experienced solicitors. And I think that's what's helpful in that is to look at their reviews, and this can be on their website or their Google reviews. These are so important and will help you ultimately make a decision, because anybody who feels they've had a very positive or even a very negative experience do often want to share their stories. Maybe even you can also, of course, what we're all doing probably is asking a friend or a colleague who might have just experienced the service of a solicitor, and they'll be able to make a recommendation based on their experience. The other source, which is really good, is to ask the estate agent who they recommend. Agents deal with solicitors on a daily basis for their own transactions, and they're a fantastic source on who the best solicitor is for a smooth process, and for the process to go through in the shortest time possible, because ultimately it's in their favor to recommend a good solicitor as well. Or you can, the other option is to refer yourself to, if you don't know already, the Law Society website. Really useful. They've got a section at the top, is a tab called Find a Solicitor. And this helps you find solicitors local to you. So if you are watching this, you're not local to Walton and Thames, just pop your postcode in. What I'll do is I'll put the link in below for the website so you can try that as well. But yeah, all of these resources will help you select a solicitor with a good standing, a firm who cares about the reputation, and about the success of their transactions. And the other reason you do want an experienced solicitor as well is that they will have seen a lot of the issues that you can get with a sale or purchase over their careers, and this ultimately helps them address those issues with the right solution in a much quicker manner. So I think the key thing to remember is that solicitors are a part of the transaction who ultimately who can set the pace, and you want both sides to be switched on. You want them to be proactive, excellent communicators to their clients as well as any other parties involved. You just want somebody who will ideally expedite matters in your best interest, of course, and a team who are going to make this process as stress-free as possible for you to keep the deal going, and ideally one who won't give anyone in the transaction unnecessary doubt about the sale. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. Well, this is helpful. If you've bought or sold recently, and maybe you have solicitors that you would recommend, please leave them in the comments section below with a few words as to why. It'd be really helpful for anyone who's amidst making that decision at the moment. Aside to today's subject on solicitors, if you do want any more property advice, head over to the Walton Property Community Group. There's loads of content in there. There's blogs and there's videos and there's articles. Or if you want more one-to-one advice, you can just direct message me. I've enjoyed having some DMs from you, but like I say, I'm really trying to encourage that they're all in the comments section so that we can reply publicly for everyone's benefit. Outside of, again, what we've discussed today, if you don't see it in the group, any of the topics that you're looking for advice on, we do have a free advice section on our website. And like I say, this helps anybody in the property industry, buyers, tenants, someone thinking of becoming a landlord, someone who is a landlord, investors, you name it, there's advice in there. And that's rochills.co.uk/free help and advice. I'll put the link below as well. But yeah, please be sure to give this video a like, share it for your network if you know a few people who may be considering going through the process. And like I say, if you want to keep on top of local property market trends, head over to the Walton Property Community Group. That I'll put the link in below as well. Thought I'd check if we've got some questions coming through. Oh yes, from our director Marcel. I agree, it makes everyone's job easier and increases your chance of a successful transaction. Exactly, which goes to my first point, being that they can affect the pace of your sale or purchase. And when this isn't going well, we've had either side walk away. So yeah, very important. Marcel sharing something here. We have a process of asking our sellers to complete property information questionnaires, which helps us provide the buyers with information on viewings rather than at the point of offer, which has been accepted. Yeah, we do that too. We discussed this in one of our vlogs in the past, is to sort of expedite any questions that we're able to answer. We give our vendors a property information questionnaire. And this covers a lot about the property. Taskful for them to fill in, but it's things they'll know. And what it does is when we get that information, we can answer the buyer's question up front before we get to the point of the sale being agreed, getting to solicitors, which can ultimately cost time. We already have those answers from the vendor for the assistance of the buyer. Hi, Paul. We've got two Pauls with us today. Super. So I think that's all the questions. Thank you for those, guys. So yes, tomorrow we'll be on the penultimate tip 11 of the 12 top tips for selling your home. One thing I wanted to remind you all is, if you're living locally, we currently have a countdown of the 30 most saleable roads in Walton on Thames. With that, I mean, this is all coming from data on different property websites, and it's just explaining what makes this particular road number 30, and we give some really interesting stats. So look out for your road. We are on number 29. If you want to have a look at that, that's on the Walton Property Community Group on Facebook. And we are amidst, I think we're doing number 28 8 tomorrow, so definitely keep an eye out for that. I'd also like to thank the people coming into the office today with their gifts. They donated gifts for children under the services of the charity Home Start. What we're doing is we're working for another year with the charity Home Start, who are collecting donated gifts for children within their services who mightn't have the opportunity to open presents this year. So thank you to everybody who popped in with their donated gifts today. If you want to find out how you can get involved, I'll put the link in below. Super. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you for the questions and the comments and for joining me. And I'll see you all tomorrow.